Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just had the first socialist budget of the United Kingdom in 14 years. Yes, after 14 years of liberal policies by the Tory government, we have an official socialist government with a lot of, as they call it, social democrats. And the democratic policies that have now been announced by Rachel Reeves, or as I call her, Rachel Thieves. Yes, we have £40 billion worth of tax rises. We just did a live stream before this video. Unfortunately, we had to end that as I was dealing with something else. But I'm just going to go through the key announcements in case you didn't watch the budget. So £40 billion worth of tax rises is coming from Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves' cabinet. Minimum wage will be increased by 6.7%. It's going to get to £12.20. But also between 18 and 20, it will get a 16.3% bump to £10 an hour. Unfortunately, national insurance tax on employment is going up from 13.8% to 15%. That's going to hit a lot of employees and employers, and of course let's not forget about the consumers who are also going to get hit because the prices will have to go up to cover this tax. Capital gains tax is also the lower tax is increasing from 10% to 18%. The higher rate is going from 20% to 24%. Now, the health budget for the National Health Service is being increased at 22 billion pounds, 0.6 billion pounds increase in day-to-day budget, and 3.1 billion pounds increase in capital budget in this year. That's on top of the existing budget of the NHS, by the way. VAT has now been introduced on independent schools. Unfortunately, a lot of parents will no longer be able to afford independent schools, and the kids' futures will also be affected. No extension on the freeze in income tax, as expected. The SNP government will be receiving £3.4 billion. The Welsh Labour government will be receiving £1.7 billion, and Northern Ireland will get £1.5 billion. That's all they will get. Now, we have a lot of other investments, as they call it investment, but it's basically taking tax money and borrowing money from international banks to give it back to the economy. There is so much to be going. In terms of the inheritance tax threshold, it will be frozen for a further 2 years until 2030. The bus fare cap has now reached £3 until December 2025. There is also a lot of spending for the compensations, of course. So we reported earlier during the first live stream that £11.8 billion will be compensation for those infected by the blood scandal. £1.8 billion compensations for the victims of the post office scandal. There's going to be a lot of other issues as well. £2.9 billion has been added to the defence budget, but the tobacco duty escalator will be renewed at 2%, plus 2% obviously, increased duty by 10% on hand-rolled tobacco this year. So these are the key points to consider. £40 billion worth of tax cuts, tax rises, and we're going to have around over £100 billion borrowing. That is going to be, the national debt will continue to increase. 2% cut per government department. It's not going to get anywhere. We have a lot of departments that need to be completely axed, and this government will continue to increase the size of the state, increase taxations, increase regulations, and tell you how you should live your life. We're going to keep you guys posted on the reaction on the budget and everything else throughout the channel, throughout the day. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.